Klay Thompson, his free agency is hanging over the Warriors, and we have a new report that breaks down how the talks are going with the Warriors, if they're even happening. In addition, with Klay Thompson, there's many other priorities the Warriors have this offseason. We have a new report as well on what has been happening inside the organization. Good episode here in Warriors Digest. Randy Silver. We've been doing a lot of trade rumors lately. Now it's about internal politics in the Warriors organization. Do not miss any of this, so please subscribe. Only 8% of the people watching our videos are subscribed. Click notified. Thank you for supporting us. You don't want to miss anything. When you're notified, you're subscribed. You'll get our videos daily. Klay Thompson, one half of the best backcourt duo ever, especially shooters. So what is happening with Klay Thompson? As we know, he's a free agent. Has not been a free agent since 2019 when he signed his deal. Of course, that was after he hurt his knee in the NBA Finals. We gave him a big deal as a show of trust and love. But it's a big opportunity for the Warriors to do. Do we either stay with this team or do we change up what we're doing? Again, here's the offseason outlook. If you're part of this channel, you see this all the time. Key things to know and do. The big thing, Klay Thompson, the free agent, do we bring him back? Chris Paul, our team option of $30 million hangs over the head. You can see where our salary is at. If we bring in Chris Paul, 174, I do not expect him to pick that up. And again, you look at this, the threshold committed 174, tax threshold 171. So if you even bring in Klay for $10 million, you go over the first apron, 15, 20, you get really close to the second apron, and you really can't sign more players. That is why we've been doing all these trade scenarios to see how it works, especially if Klay wants to get paid, we can't pay him. Signing trades a win-win both ways. So what's the report with Klay and the Warriors? No timetable, no notable movement on contract talks. So the report is they haven't talked, which is actually a big report because as we get to the free agency deadline, or when it starts, which is July 2nd, July 1st, we're now basically at June 1st, 1 month to decide this. So this means the news is about to ramp up. Klay's been having a fun offseason, decompressing from the season. He's done some traveling. Obviously, he's probably done some soul searching. And we know Klay wants to win. Does he want to go somewhere and get a payday and not win a championship? That's not his vibe. He's a super big competitor. Of course, he would love to start, but he gets enough money from the NBA. He's made well over $150 million in his career, if not close to 200, 250. In addition, he's got his apparel deal with his Chinese company, and he makes a bunch of money off of that, other endorsements. So he's not hurting for money. He's set for life, generational wealth. So he wants to try to get that 5th championship. In terms of Anthony Slater reporting for The Athletic, contract extensions, I just said, no notable movement from either side toward a resolution. Warriors remain interested in retaining Thompson at the right price once the other parts of the roster come into place, Slater added. But again, expected to enter free agency since 2019. And that's why, again, when we go back to here, Chris Paul, that $30 million off, we don't re-sign him. Say it's $10 million, then you can give Klay $10, $15 million. You bring them both back. Chris Paul becomes a floor general role for the second team again. Thompson probably comes off the bench. Your starting 5 is Steph, Brandon, Kuminga, Dre, Trace Jackson Davis, if nothing changes. Maybe you move Klay to the 3, Brandon to the bench, Kuminga 2. If you want Brandon to be your second bench unit guy, be the backup point guard, can play as a spot position on the starting, and that's if Chris Paul is not coming back. Chris Paul was on the bench for his first season ever after 20 seasons of starting. Does he want to ride the bench again? And other things that go into personal life and work life. Other than that, you can see pretty much everyone's committed. Dario's a free agent. A couple of the bench players are free agents. Probably going to bring back Usman. They brought him up for that playoff run. He's a Draymond type. Pat Spencer, Jerome Robinson, Lester Quinones. Maybe Quinones coming back. Other than that, not a lot that happened. And you can see there's not a lot of salary to give up. A.k.a. give up, meaning to go sign people. So Warriors got to figure out themselves what they want, and then that helps play in the part of Klay. The Warriors haven't exactly been beating down his door to work on the framework for an extension, which can be signed at any time. In turn, the 34-year-old Thompson appears ready to test free agency waters, exploring internal options for the first time in his career. I would love him to be a Warrior lifer. Many of you out there would as well, but it has to be at the right price. It can't be at the detriment of the team. If you say, hey, we're going to sign you and start you, but he's not playing the right defense, not shooting the same, then you don't sign him because that's not going to help us win a championship as a team. I hate for his last game to be in the play-in against the Kings when he made 0 points, goose egg, 0 baskets. For the legend he is, what he's brought to this team, the Bay Area lifer, he will have a statue outside the Chase Center. His jersey will be up in the rafters. That's a tough way to go out. I think he's going to come back. I think they're going to find a deal that works, and he's going to stay a Warrior for lifer. Maybe a 2-year deal that lines up with Curry and Kerr, so that way they all have their last year of the contract at the end of 26. Draymond, of course, when you look here, his last contract year is with 2027. Thompson, again, a 4-time NBA champion, 5-time All-Star. What is out there if he leaves the Warriors? He could go to Charlotte or Detroit, where they have a significant amount of salary cap space. But those teams are not competing for championships. Bottom 3, bottom 5 of the league the past couple years. So does he want to go there, be a star player, get the bag in a city that he hasn't been in before in terms of living, in a place that is not competing for championships? Probably not. But he could go to OKC. Warriors, of course, keep him back. Philadelphia, Magic, Mavs are in there. So OKC, how much will he play there? We saw how well this team is functioning. Second round of the playoffs, young players. Why bring in Thompson to come off the bench potentially and take away playing time from a young player, a good up-and-comer? Gordon Hayward, they brought him in. Did he play a lot? No. So how's Thompson any different? I think he's a better player than Hayward at this point of their careers. However, why take the risk to go to OKC and potentially not play? Philadelphia, they have 2 players signed. They'll have a third when they give Maxey his super max. They have plenty of cap space, so he could get the bag there and get good playing time. Could either be the 3 or come off the bench as a 6-man. The other team that talked about Magic, and they have a bunch of cap space. First time in the second round, lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Cavs. They're looking for someone to come in, championship pedigree, can help these young players take it to the next level. He could be a good fit. Mavs are in the NBA Finals after last night's win. Beat the Timberwolves 4-1 in the playoffs in the Western Conference Finals. So do they really need Klay? I mean, they're going really well right now. They don't have much cap space. But if there's a way to do a trade, sign trade, then we could get someone over. But how much are they going to blow up their team now or change their team up if they make it to the finals? Now, of course, if the finals, they get blown up by the Celtics, they may need to do something. But we see here that they're shooting the ball well, playing defense well. So that maybe isn't as big of a need for the Mavs as it was a month ago. Couple teams to be aware of. Also, of course, he grew up around Portland. Don't think he's going there. Bottom 5 of the league. Lakers have always been a big choice for Klay. Grew up a Lakers fan. Grew up a massive Kobe fan. Of course, rest in peace. Still a Kobe fan. His dad is a Lakers legend. So it could be an option there. Maybe the bright lights of New York, Brooklyn, or the Knicks. Probably more Knicks than Brooklyn as they're competing. So Klay has a lot to figure out on his side. So do the Warriors. That takes us to our topic 2. Warriors offseason. In the story published on Thursday as well, the Athletic's Anthony Slater detailed why Golden State can be in for a very busy offseason. There's nothing imminent or even deep in the works, but transaction days are fast approaching. Indications remain that the Warriors front office intends to be aggressive and willing to shake up the core, feeling that this group was giving a chance to stick together this past trade deadline and it didn't even result in a playoff berth. At the trade deadline, there were rumblings of LeBron to the Warriors. Would have taken a massive haul from the Warriors to give up to get LeBron, probably Kuminga, probably Moody, multiple draft picks, and they kept Steph, Dre, and Klay together and said, let's see what we can do. Dre obviously was suspended a lot of the first half of the season, so we needed to do something and see what it worked, and it didn't. So we need to get some fresh legs around Steph Curry. We need to get him a second superstar to support. We need more rim protection. We need more rebounding. Even though we're a good rebounding team, it came mainly from our guards. We need someone around the paint to be a rim protector, help not let people even in the paint, get some offensive rebounds. Of course, shooting and more versatility. Golden State showed a willingness to make a big-time adjustment last summer when trading Jordan Poole to the Wizards for Chris Paul. So this means that, hey, they're willing to try to make a trade. Again, Jordan Poole situation. Team had a toxic culture potentially because of the whole Draymond Jordan Poole punch. One person had to leave. They decided to sign Dre, pull out. Obviously, we missed his shooting in that second team, being able to be a scorer himself, being able to create for himself. But I think Chris Paul brought stability to the second team, helped make us a better, well-rounded team. So I would say right now it's a win-win, but you definitely would have loved to have Jordan Poole at 23. What do you do with the Wizards? Not a lot. It wasn't a good season for him. So you know what? Maybe in the long run, it was good. But he got his bag and a ring. The problem for the Warriors is this luxury tax. What will that materialize into? That's hard to decipher without knowing what will be available to them and how exactly they plan to navigate the luxury tax. The Warriors have stated a desire to duck it entirely, and if the opportunity presents itself but indicate they will remain in it, is there a move they believe that vaults them back into contention? And again, so that takes you to right here. Tax threshold 171.3 million, first apron 178, second apron 189. And when you're in those aprons, you got to pay luxury tax. You also can't make trades based off of where you're on the apron. So you've seen the videos I put out about trade for trade. How does it work? And you've seen the fails because it says when you're in apron 1, apron 2, you either have to get within a range of money to make it work. So like within $3 million of contracts going both ways, or it has to be even because you're in the apron. So you couldn't potentially go get a Jimmy Butler without giving up just small assets. Of course, he won't do that. But I'm just trying to say, and you see like, well, let's go get that star. Let's go get this star. Well, you got to make the money work, especially when you're in the luxury tax apron. And Joe Lacob, the owner, says he would love for the Warriors to get out of the luxury tax, which it was $88.4 million over the 2023-2024 NBA season. And when you're not playing for championships, you're not even in the playoffs, you're in the play-in. These guys are smart businessmen, smart businesswomen. They don't want to pay these massive taxes when it's not worth it. We've been in the tax for a long time. This whole new CBA with these tax rules, the aprons, is kind of called the Warrior Rule because of what we were able to do, especially getting KD coming in and things like that. The Warriors could use another superstar, but they have to be realistic. Brandon Ingram, we did a whole video on that. Apparently Warriors will not be interested, but he could be a nice fit. And the video that came out earlier, Jimmy Butler. For the Butler, again, what did that video say? You're going to have to give up Kuminga. They're going to want him. In addition, you need Klay to re-sign with us, and it becomes a sign and trade because you have to make the money work. Butler's around $44 million a year, so you have to match that because it's going to make our tax bill way too high. So you have to re-sign Klay, and he has to basically sign for $25-30 million, if not more, to make it work. Throw on draft picks, things of that nature. So it would be cool, but it's going to take a lot of financial flexibility in terms of structuring that deal to make it work. So the synopsis of today, Klay, no news, which isn't good news because we don't know what's happening. They're going to start talking, has to be in the next week or two, and we'll have those updates. And that plays a part into the Warriors' organizational future, what's happening as we try to retool and rebuild this team for success. Comment your thoughts on everything we talked about today. Of course, please subscribe to Warriors Digest. Smash that button so you don't miss any of the updates daily. Out.